pop music and music in general needs this girl group. I feel like this is something that like we've been craving in music for so long. So I'm so excited that like we get to be the people that like bring that and bring that fresh sound to music. Like I'm just so grateful and I love you guys so much, and I think that we're gonna change the world and the music is gonna change the world.
Crazy up the foot, crazy up the foot, so I good, crazy up the foot,
It's been 2 years since Katseye debuted, and while I wouldn't say that they've changed the world, they've definitely changed the music industry. For the worse. See, my feelings toward Katseye is the same as Kendrick's toward Drake. Pure hate. Now, to pre-clarify, it's not the girls whom I hate. It's not even Katseye the group itself. Rather, it's the idea, the concept, the foundation of Katseye, how and why they were made in the first place. Because the thing is, even if Katseye disbands tomorrow, the idea of them will always be there, acting as a blueprint for Hype and other companies to use in creating other Katseyes. So what exactly is the idea? Well, the idea that Katseye represents is that success in today's music industry comes less from the music itself and more from everything around it. Instead of prioritizing good lyrics, melodies, or production, artists are encouraged to create viral moments through shock value and catchy one-liners. Instead of building a fan base naturally, artists are encouraged to sell narratives designed to evoke emotions in the audience, turning them into loyal fans who are parasocially invested in everything surrounding the group. The idea that artists have to go through a strict training program before debuting. The idea that star quality and personality matters more than talent and hard work. The idea that artists are better off young and vulnerable. And technically, the idea is right. Look at Katseye. They're successful, they're breaking records, they're winning awards. Hell, they performed at the Grammys. It was bad, but they were there. As of today, the idea feels inevitable. We're heading towards a future where the music industry is more similar to Love Island than anything else. And my question is, how did we end up here? Katseye was born out of a long-held desire by K-pop executives to make K-pop global. Since its inception, several K-pop companies have made deliberate efforts to push their artists onto the global market. However, it wasn't until the third and fourth generations that these efforts fully came to fruition, to the point where some groups now have significantly larger fan bases internationally than they do in Korea. Entering the fifth generation, it became clear that K-pop companies were ready for the next logical step, which is to create global groups that use K-pop methodologies but aren't actually K-pop. To understand what this statement truly means, we first have to ask, what is K-pop? Well, technically, K-pop doesn't have a musical or official definition. Instead, what makes K-pop K-pop is the fandom. At the end of the day, every decision a K-pop company makes revolves around the fandom, specifically how to make it bigger and more loyal. Because the larger and more dedicated your fan base is, the more you can get away with. Bad music, cultural appropriation, all kinds of scandals and controversies. As long as you have a massive, loyal fan base, the group will, at worst, do okay. So, when executives talk about K-pop methodologies, they're simply referring to the methods used to cultivate these exact kinds of fan bases. It all begins with the idol. The idol has to be perfect, visually, emotionally, performance-wise, attitude-wise. And to shape this perfection, idols would be put through strict training programs before ever debuting, spending anywhere from 6 months to 15 years. Now what I want you to understand is that when I say perfect, I don't mean it in a literal sense. See, the definition shifts depending on the idol. Fundamentally, being perfect means being able to play your role, fulfill your fans' expectations, and maximize their pleasure 24/7. If the group's brand requires the idol to feel like a close friend rather than an untouchable role model, then being perfect means being relatable, and so on. Once they officially debut, the idol begins developing a relationship with their fans, which bond is truly remarkable. From an outsider's perspective, it seems like these fans would literally go to war for their idols. And this is simply a result of constant interaction. Through messaging apps like Weavers, fans can casually ask their favorite idol how their day is going on a random Tuesday. Through fan meetings, you can meet them face to face, hand them a gift, and then see them wearing it on a live stream hours later. Combined with the fact that these idols have been structurally programmed to revolve their entire existence around their fans, this intense relationship becomes easily constructed. Another charm of the K-pop methodology is the art of cultivating a fan base before the group even debut. They achieve this through survival shows, where a bunch of trainees is evaluated and judged on live TV, with their spots in the final group supposedly determined by public voting. But the main purpose of the survival show isn't actually to determine a lineup. Most of the time, the final lineup is already predetermined. Companies can easily steer the outcome by either outright rigging the voting system or manipulating screen time to favor preferred contestants. See, the real purpose of the survival show is emotional investment. What it does is it includes fans in the process, making them want to root for their favorite contestant, making them feel they are the ones to get the members in the group, making them emotionally attached from the jump. Ultimately, the end product of this methodology is money. See, after receiving pleasures from their idol, fans are expected to fulfill their end of the bargain, promote the group, stream the music, vote in award shows. While this labor isn't obligatory, the culture is now so deeply established that fans are routinely shamed by other fans for not doing their job. This is the exact K-pop methodology that Katseye took and ran with. Katseye's entire foundation revolves around their fandom. Their music, their marketing strategies, and the members' personalities are all dictated by how it will manipulate and monetize the fanbase. Katseye's version of the K-pop survival show was
Dream Academy.
Before it, the girls went through their own version of the K-pop training program for as long as 18 months. Then, both the behind the scenes of the training period and the survival show itself were eventually packaged into an 8-episode Netflix docuseries titled. There is a lot to unpack in Popstar Academy, but as I said, its primary objective was simple: to pre-order a fan base.
That's what we did last year with the Dream Academy. Part of the reason we did that is because in K-pop, there are fans that want to be part of the process and want to root for their favorite trainee or contestant. They feel they are the ones to help get the girls in the group. When they are dedicated that early on, it is very rare that you're going to lose them, and they will rally to get everyone they know to be a fan and part of that community.
The show achieved this by establishing clear sides, the execs being the villains and the girls being the victims. By showing the emotional and physical suffering the girls had to endure to get to their positions, and by portraying the execs as heartless creatures, the documentary did a brilliant job in making you feel guilty if you didn't end up supporting them.
Hey, you're gonna find people that here too. Don't shine.
We wanted to up the ante. It's a survival show. You have to create that drama. You have to create that competition. It's entertainment.
But the irony is, supporting the girls means indirect support of Hype x Geffen, which brings us to the classic dilemma that every K-pop fandom has or has had. the toxic triangle between the fans, the idol, and the company. The fans despise the company, but they love the idols. Yet, as long as those idols are under contract, a massive chunk of their label directly benefits the company. Every stream, every vote, and every dollar spent ends up in the company's pockets. But as long as everyone plays their role, this dilemma doesn't disrupt the system, and everyone involved, excluding the idols themselves, continues to reap the benefits. With Katseye, however, I don't think this dilemma is going to last long. In my opinion, the members are simply too smart and have too much dignity to not eventually say, fuck hype. The point I am trying to establish here is just how fundamentally anti-music Katseye's foundation is. Seeing them nominated at the Grammys, performing alongside serious artists, genuinely pisses me off. Their existence and success provides a bleak overview of the current state of the music industry. It's not that we're lacking good music, it's that the general public's mindset has shifted from the music towards fandom, numbers, and idols. Though at the same time, this anti-music foundation isn't original to Katseye. It is something that the K-pop industry has successfully implemented for over 20 years. And just like many of you watching this video, I am a K-pop fan. Technically, this anti-music mindset is something that I have actively tolerated and participated in. So why is it suddenly a problem now that Katseye is doing it? Well, it boils down to a very simple fact. Some K-pop groups, despite being anti-music, still make good music. So far, Katseye's discography consists of 2 EPs and 2 main singles. Now, if you ask the average listener to define their musical identity today, they'd most likely point to 4 characteristics: hyperpop adjacent production, nonsensical lyrics, a mantra-like vocal delivery, and the repetition of a single word or phrase serving as the primary hook. But Katseye wasn't always like this. For the chaos that was gnarly, there was soft is strong. SIS is the polar opposite of Katseye today. Instead of bold baddie, it relied on soft, innocent visuals, Disney-esque songwriting, and incredibly generic pop production. Overall, they took a more child-friendly approach, which contrasted really bad with some of the members' personalities. Take Manon, for instance, a grown woman who had experienced far too much in life at that point to be unironically singing about
Do all of the shit I know I didn't do when I was a kid. Get high on life for somebody's kiss, but tonight I'm mine.
Even before SIS dropped, the members shared their personal music tastes, shouting out artists like Travis Scott, Playboi Carti, MIA, Beyonce, and K-Tronada. Which begs the question, would any of these girls actually listen to the SIS EP if they weren't the one singing it? We all know the answer is no. And today, the girls themselves have openly expressed a decent amount of disdain for this era.
We were so deeply decuntified.
But the funny thing is, despite being aggressively generic and featuring lyrics like
I'm not the perfect example of someone ready to handle the kind of party required to go it fully inspired by.
SIS remains the only part of their discography that you can unironically listen to. Okay, I lied. The Beautiful Chaos era had its moments. Gabriella is genuinely a great song. Game Boy is fun. MIA is listenable. And Mean Girls. Matter of fact, I'm mainly just talking about one song in particular. Gnarly. The song that defined this whole era, and it's seemingly the sound they are doubling down on for their upcoming EP, Wild. Now, I've seen here and there think pieces online stating,
Well, actually, Gnarly is a brilliant satire on the relationship between fans and their idols. That actually is about
shut the fuck up. At the end of the day, let's not lose sight of the fact that Katseye is a pop group. The fundamental point of pop music is to create songs that people can actually enjoy. Do you genuinely enjoy listening to Gnarly? Here's the thing. It's not that I don't get the sound. Personally, I prefer artists whose sounds are Gnarly adjacent, dirty, brash, experimental. But the problem with Gnarly, Internet Girl, and Pinky Up isn't the sound. It's the complete lack of intention behind it. The sound wasn't chosen out of artistic need. It was used purely for shock value, to signal to the audience that the girls have gone bad. And the only reason they keep doing it with Internet Girl and Pinky Up is because of the initial numbers Gnarly produced. Anyone with a brain knows this. They see right through the lack of substance and care put in the writing. They can tell through the simple fact that all of these songs are bought with zero creative input from the girls themselves, wrapped in utterly uninspired album art. I want to end this video by answering the question, how will Katseye stand the test of time? And in my opinion, when all is said and done, Katseye is something that everyone will look back on and get secondhand embarrassment from. The members will look back on their Katseye era and go, the fans will grow up one day and go, while hype executives will move on to continue creating more stains on the music industry.